What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a closer look at Marathon's factions, who they are, what they stand for, and why they matter way more than you might think. If you're new here, I mainly cover Destiny 2, but with Marathon coming up I'll be diving deep into everything we know about Bungie's next big game, from gameplay and systems to lore and factions like these. So if you enjoy Destiny content, want to stay up to date with Marathon, or just don't want to miss what's coming next, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss any upcoming Destiny or Marathon content. So, Marathon is Bungie's next big game, but one of the most interesting parts so far aren't just the weapons or the gameplay, it's the factions, because in Marathon, you're not just dropping in to loot and survive. You're running jobs for powerful factions, each with their own goals, tech, and motivations. So in this video, I'll break down all the known Marathon factions, what they stand for, and why your choice might actually matter later on. And if you're coming from Destiny, you'll definitely notice some familiar ideas here. Before we jump into each one, quick context. Factions in Marathon aren't just lore flavor, they're more like organizations hiring you, sending you on missions, rewarding you, and shaping how you interact with the world. Think less tower vendors and more shadowy corporations, cults, and AI entities pulling strings behind the scenes. Let's start with Traxus, easily the richest and most powerful faction in Marathon. Traxus operates from the shadows. They don't need brute force, they use money, influence, and control over resources to shape Ceti to their advantage. Most of Traxus's power comes from resource extraction, and during the alpha tests, their contracts often revolve around disrupting the UESC's supply chains. Gameplay-wise, Traxus contracts usually ask you to locate specific weapons, extract weapon mods, interfere with enemy logistics. Traxus feels very corporate, very calculated, less about chaos, more about efficiency and profit. Next up is Sekiguchi Genetics, one of the most mysterious factions so far. Sekiguchi is responsible for waveform technology, which is used to create the shell bodies worn by runners. Basically, without Sekiguchi, runners wouldn't exist in their current form. What makes Sekiguchi especially interesting is that we don't fully understand their intentions yet. They're brand new to the Marathon universe, and Bungie is clearly keeping things vague on purpose. In the Visions of Marathon video, Sekiguchi is represented by Nona, a strange white-winged insect-like entity with red eyes and multiple arms. Then there's Nucaloric Agricultural, represented by Gaius, a calm, emotionless pink head with a surprisingly polite voice. Nucaloric claims its mission is simple: to feed, clothe, and supply humanity with its most basic needs. But don't let that fool you. As major stakeholders on Ceti, Nucaloric's contracts often push players to uncover the truth behind the original Marathon expedition, which failed over a century ago. This faction feels heavily lore-focused, perfect if you enjoy narrative discovery, environmental storytelling, and uncovering long-buried secrets. Destiny players will immediately recognize this name. MIDA has deep roots in Bungie's past and appeared in the original Marathon trilogy. Back then, MIDA was a political movement that eventually turned into a terrorist organization after years of conflict with the UESC. In Marathon, MIDA is obsessed with explosives and sabotage. Their contracts often involve destroying infrastructure, uploading malware, blowing up USC equipment. If you like chaos, destruction, and aggressive objectives, MIDA is probably your faction. Cyberacme is responsible for one of the most important technologies in Marathon, the systems that allow human consciousness to be uploaded into shells. They're also the faction that first introduces you to the world through Oni, the onboard navigational intelligence. Oni sounds calm, polite, almost friendly, but once you start exploring Ceti, its true message becomes clear. According to Cyberacme, the UESC's extreme hostility makes their destruction completely acceptable. Cyberacme feels cold, logical, and deeply unsettling, a faction that believes survival justifies everything. Finally, we have Arachne, easily the darkest faction so far. Arachne is a death cult. They don't hide it, they embrace it. From everything we've seen, Arachne contracts focus heavily on killing other runners. Their aesthetic is blood red, horror-inspired, and straight-up disturbing. While Bungie hasn't revealed exact rewards yet, it's very likely that Arachne contracts will enhance PvP combat and runner versus runner encounters. High risk, high reward, no mercy. So those are the major factions we know about so far in Marathon. From powerful corporations like Traxus to tech giants like Cyberacme to cult-like groups such as Arachne. Each one has its own ideology, its own goals, and its own way of using you as a runner. But here's the important part. These factions aren't just lore flavor or background world building. They actually influence your contracts, your progression, your rewards, and potentially even your playstyle. So which faction speaks to you the most? The corporate power of Traxus, The mystery of Sekiguchi, the chaos of MIDA, or the darkness of Arachne? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown and want more marathon content leading up to launch, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next videos. I'll be covering a lot more marathon very soon. And with that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.